One nation, indivisible, Notice anything missing from this billboard? How about the phrase "under God"? Those two missing words sparking some controversy tonight. The people who put it up say the message is about inclusion and unity. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Blakely.
And I'm Rebecca Clark. Others argue the message is hypocritical, even blasphemous. Fox Charlotte's Morgan Fogarty has more on why the sign is there and why its location is also part of the controversy.
The newest billboard near the intersection of Boyer Street and the Billy Graham Parkway is getting a lot of attention. The North Carolina Secular Association is sponsoring the message that depicts an American flag with the words "One Nation, Indivisible." Noticeably missing the words "under God." William Warren says it's designed to raise awareness.
A lot of people just assume because you live in Charlotte, North Carolina, that you're a Southern Baptist. And the city is so much more than that.
The sign depicts the Pledge of Allegiance as it was originally written in the 1890s. It wasn't until the 1950s when the "under God" phrase was added under President Eisenhower.
It actually divided the nation. It made it wrong to not believe in God.
I would suspect that most people are paying it no attention.
Conservative pastor Joe Chambers says the billboard is blasphemous, although he appreciates people's right to free speech.
God is sovereign. He does rule this universe, and he did create it. And you can spit in his face, but you need to get ready for the results.
This billboard along the Billy Graham Parkway is just one of 6 across North Carolina. It was one of the most expensive to install at just under $3,500. It'll stay up for about 4 weeks. The location on a roadway named for one of, if not the most influential evangelist in American history is also generating some backlash. Williams says the Lamar Company offered several locations, but the one on the Parkway was the most affordable.
That was the most economical choice, and it got the most traffic.
Another billboard company refused the Secular Association's business, saying the message was too controversial. Morgan Fogarty, Fox News.
The Billy Graham Evangelical Association tells us they won't issue a statement about the billboard. The other boards are located in Asheville, Winston-Salem, Greensboro, Raleigh, and Wilmington. Here's some of the feedback we've received on Facebook. John posted, "It's been under God for over 200 years, and because a few people don't like it, we cater to them by changing it." Nicole adds, "It's a shame this country was founded on God, and we all exist because of God, but people want to get rid of him in everything." Terrence says simply, "Message of separation, in my opinion." Tell us what you think. Facebook us or go to foxcharlotte.com.
A billboard that's just gone up near the Billy Graham Library is raising eyebrows and ruffling some feathers. It shows a flag and a message that some say is meant to unify, but others say it leaves out the most important part. News Channel 36 reporter Glenn Counts live in West Charlotte with that story tonight. Glenn?
Well, Dave, this is the billboard here over my shoulder. As you can see at first glance, it appears to pay homage to the Pledge of Allegiance. But as you can see, it's not complete. It does not contain the words "under God." Above the Billy Graham Parkway, the message of this billboard appears to be clear.
Well, I don't like it. I don't know if you say offend.
The billboard was sponsored by the North Carolina Secular Association, which is a collection of atheist groups. The association intentionally left out "under God."
Forefathers of this country built this country on those principles. I just think it's important to, stick to that.
A lot of people we talked to were offended by the sign. Association leaders say it was done around July the 4th to make a point.
And I'm not offended initially. I'm realizing that our country is in a time of change, and I think that the fact that that poster went up means that we are indeed divisible.
Well, in addition to Charlotte, the billboards have also been placed in Asheville, Greensboro, Raleigh, Wilmington, and in Winston-Salem. All total, this campaign is slated to run for about 4 weeks. Reporting live from our mobile newsroom here in West Charlotte, Glenn Counts, News Channel 36.
In 1954, the words "under God" were added to the Pledge of Allegiance. With the 4th of July just around the corner, some groups are using billboards across the state, including one here in New Hanover County, to help get those 3 words removed from the pledge for good. WWAY's Nadine Mazer has the story.
I hate that it's right next to where I'm at. Hopefully no radicals will come by here and try to burn the billboard down and affect our business in any form or fashion.
Mike Connolly's antique shop has been up and running for 6 months just south of Monkey Junction. He says business is good, but fears a new anti-Pledge of Allegiance billboard could affect his business.
It's a little bit frustrating when you've got a relatively new business. You don't want any controversy whatsoever surrounding your establishment in any form or fashion.
The billboard that says "One Nation, Indivisible" will be in Wilmington for at least 4 weeks. The North Carolina Secular Association, along with a number of other statewide groups, are behind the media push. Mike Warner is a leader with the Humanists and Free Thinkers of Cape Fear and supports the message. In a statement he gave to WWAY Monday, he said the Pledge of Allegiance did not have "Under God" until it was added in 1954. We want to bring awareness and want to enjoy the same dignity that everyone else does. It's a clear violation of church and state. I'm sure some people will take it as a controversy, but that is not our intent. The pledge didn't have "Under God" originally. It's religious bigotry and discrimination. It's wrong, and we are calling for it to be changed.
I think when I was in school, if there was anybody opposed to that, they just didn't say that part of it. So it just seems ridiculous to me.
This billboard will also be in Asheville, Charlotte, Greensboro, Raleigh, and Winston-Salem. Connolly plans to show opposition to the billboard and his side of patriotism in one simple way.
I think we'll put a couple of American flags out front, right beside that, just to oppose that in whatever way we can.
In New Hanover County, Nadine Mazer, WWAY News Channel 3.
The billboards have a price tag of around $15,000 and are supposed to go up either today or tomorrow. Some other business owners in the area say it's upsetting as a business owner and as an American.
Tonight, a billboard designed to stir up controversy is doing its job.
Yeah, the new billboard displays a portion of the Pledge of Allegiance. It reads "One Nation, Indivisible," but deliberately leaves out "Under God." Raleigh's Capitol Boulevard is just one of several locations across the state where the billboard is on display. Caitlin Coyner has reaction to the sign.
It's not what's on this billboard that's causing controversy, it's what's not. You'll notice that it simply says "One Nation, Indivisible" and leaves off the rest of the sentence, "Under God."
Well, I am a Christian, and I believe that God is sovereign over all things. And so because of that, it's offensive to me personally.
People have been angry about it, and I am sad that trying to make an inclusive statement that we're all Americans should anger some people.
Randy Best is the leader of the Ethical Humanist Society of the Triangle. He says the phrase "Under God" was added to the Constitution in 1954, but says that excluded atheists. So, to him, this billboard campaign is simply trying to include non-theists by separating religion and patriotism.
If we wanted to be offensive, we could have been offensive quite directly. We could have said something about God explicitly, and we did not. We chose not to do that. We chose to try to make a message that's inclusive.
That's what the campaign is all about, reaching out to other atheists and directing them here to this website in the hopes that they could then link up with other like-minded individuals.
That website, ncsecular.org, is listed on the billboards. By going there, users can find fellowship in other atheist organizations in their area, and it tells more about the billboard campaign itself. Caitlin Coyner, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
The billboard is hard to miss as you drive along the Billy Graham Parkway in West Charlotte. The sign bears a line from the Pledge of Allegiance, "One Nation, Indivisible."
It's a message about patriotism and unity.
The group responsible for the sign left out the words "Under God" intentionally, but someone added them back in.
It shows how needed our message is.
That message, according to the organization Charlotte Atheists and Agnostics, is that even non-theists, or people who question the existence of God, can be patriotic. William Warren is a member of the group and a former Marine.
We're patriots, we're your friends, we're your family members, and we just want to be treated like everyone else.
The words "Under God" were added to the pledge in 1954. As displayed by their billboard, the group wants them removed. But someone went to great lengths to show their disagreement, walking through a field of high brush, climbing the towering billboard, and spray painting their displeasure onto it.
Good for them.
Some might not approve of vandalism, but agree with the vandal's opinion.
I think the sign needs to go. I think we should say under God.
Warren says the sign is being replaced by the North Carolina Secular Association, the organization paying for this $15,000 statewide campaign. Meanwhile, he says he's taking this in stride.
I don't think it's indicative of the theist community in North Carolina at all. I think it was just a random act.
In Charlotte, Aaron Mesmer, News 14 Carolina.
Controversial billboard gets a graffiti makeover. Debate is heating up tonight over the phrase under God. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bobby Sisk.
And I'm Sonia Gant. The billboard that reads "One Nation, Indivisible" has been on display on Billy Graham Parkway since last week. Vandals got to it over the weekend. All new at 5:30 News Channel 36 reporter Richard Devane got reaction from the group who paid to put up that sign.
High above the Billy Graham Parkway for all to see, this sign which omitted the word God from the Pledge of Allegiance.
It's more inclusive because not everyone that lives in this country, and especially in Charlotte, not everyone that's here believes in God or just that particular God.
I think that the fact that that poster went up means that we are indeed divisible.
I think it should be torn down.
And as you can imagine, not everybody was happy about that sign. So that's why the people who put it up say sometime this weekend, someone came up to this sign and decided to make some changes. Between Friday night and Saturday morning, someone climbed the stairs all the way up to the sign and added the word God.
We knew it would draw some attention, but we didn't know that it would be to this extent.
The North Carolina Secular Association says it put up the vinyl sign to show that there were more than just Christians in this country. And the group says they knew the sign would highlight their cause. Church groups say they respect the group's rights, but disagree with its position, as do others.
Well, I don't like it. I don't know if you say offend.
The group says because the sign is made of vinyl, they'll have to replace the entire sign. But they say they plan to have it back up by Independence Day.
If they want to be heard, I guess it just means that more of the believers got to stand up to be heard as well.
It's like everything else. You pay your money, you can do what you want to.
With our mobile newsroom along the Billy Graham Parkway, Richard Devane, News Channel 36.
Schools have defaced a controversial billboard in West Charlotte. Last week, an organization put up this sign. It includes the words "One Nation, Indivisible," and it's meant to omit the words "under God" in the Pledge of Allegiance. Well, over the weekend, somebody spray painted the words "under God" on the sign. The billboard stands in a controversial spot over the Billy Graham Parkway near Boyer Street. WBTV's Dedrick Russell is live here tonight. So, Dedrick, police have any idea who might have done this?
Well, Paul, all police are saying at this hour is they are still investigating. While they investigate, I can tell you that whoever the vandals are, they went to great lengths to try to climb up there and to get their message across, and it's a message some have no problem with. Reaction today.
Somebody's probably just wanting to voice their own opinion.
This country was founded on Christian belief.
Over a weekend prank that involved this controversial billboard.
I was a little disappointed.
William Warren represents the group that is paying for this billboard. He is upset vandals struck it.
I would appreciate it if they would, recognize our right to our First Amendment rights without defacing our private property.
While plans are in the works to fix this sign, Pastor Dwayne Walker from Little Rock AME Zion says he doesn't condone the destruction, but at the same time, he has no problem with under God being mentioned.
Certainly we would not have survived the things that we have in this country, the wars, the attacks, and all of that if we were not under God.
Warren disagrees.
This nation was founded on the strict separation of church and state. That's the founders went to great lengths to make the Constitution so it didn't mention religion at all.
Walker believes this billboard proves the Christian community has not done enough to show all people under God in the Pledge of Allegiance is necessary.
As a Christian, I hope that we can relay that message even more powerfully so that we can be as persuasive for those who are still on the fence about it.
While disagreement continues, Warren just wants the billboard fixed.
It's a needed message to let people know that there are atheists here. There are people that don't believe the same way as the majority of the people that live here. And we just wanted to promote a message of unity and patriotism for the 4th of July holiday.
Now, controversial billboards like that one are located in 6 other North Carolina cities, including here in Charlotte. This campaign is costing about $15,000. So far, there have been no other reports of vandalism to any other billboards in other North Carolina cities. Now, in the meantime, the Atheist group, they are planning other ways in order to get their message out, while today the pastor told me that he is planning to preach a sermon called Under God for this Sunday's July 4th message. And by the way, Paul, the group tells me that they plan to have this billboard fixed by the end of the week. Live in West Charlotte, Dedrick Russell, WBTV, on your side.
One thing for certain, whoever did it has no fear of heights. Dedrick Russell.
An update on that controversial billboard in Southwest Charlotte that leaves out the words "Under God" of the Pledge of Allegiance. A group called We Still Pray is putting up its own version. The North Carolina Secular Association sponsored the godless billboard along Billy Graham Parkway. There are 6 others across the state. The folks at We Still Pray are putting up billboards that say "One Nation Under God." We contacted that group to find out when we'll see one in Charlotte, but we did not get a response tonight. A spokesperson for the North Carolina Secular Association says they're glad the billboard is sparking a dialogue.
Brenda Conrad of Fletcher is not a fan of the One Nation Indivisible billboards.
I was disappointed.
However, her reaction is much different to the response billboards.
Yes, I love it. Under God, One Nation, under God. Don't leave God out of anything.
The One Nation Indivisible billboards were put up by the North Carolina Secular Association, saying the original Pledge of Allegiance from the 1800s used these words.
It's a positive message from our group, showing that we are patriots and we believe in the original way that the Constitution set up.
But some in North Carolina don't see the message that way. This billboard near Charlotte was vandalized, and now billboards like these are popping up in the Asheville area.
They made a concerted effort to make a statewide message that we are a nation without God, a godless society. And to us, that is a major affront.
Pastor Ralph Sexton Jr. says their We Still Pray group is hoping to educate people of our nation's history with God and to put up billboards.
While some say raising money for the billboards is a waste of money, Pastor Sexton disagrees.
Obviously, that was my predicament. That's why I was so hesitant in even making the decision. That is our essence. That's what we are. We are a nation under God.
I mean, most of the people that were the founding fathers of this country were deists. A lot of people that created this country were not Christians.
Even though both sides are going to continue to debate, there's one thing both sides would agree upon.
I think it's great that we truly do live in a land of freedom and each person can express their own views.
In Asheville, I'm Rich Klindworth, 7 on your side.
Some billboards in the western part of our state are stirring up some controversy about how we say the Pledge of Allegiance. And the organizations that spoke to them are saying the billboards will be making their way to the east as well. Not on your side's Alex Friedman looks at what you might be seeing as you take a drive.
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jennifer Lovejoy says the pledge hasn't always been like that.
The original pledge was meant to be, a message of unity that included everybody. And when they added the words "under God" in 1954, they started excluding, a group of people.
Lovejoy says they posted the One Nation Indivisible billboards along I-40 to spread that message of unity, but it's received some mixed responses.
Followers of Christ aren't going to get non-believers to believe in God by going and marking out billboards.
God should, be kept in the Pledge of Allegiance. He's everything.
A feeling held by the We Still Pray organization in a battle of the billboards. That group posted billboards that include the phrase "Under God."
As we're looking at our national history and our religious heritage, putting those two elements together, when you see a billboard that states "We're one nation indivisible," I think it's disingenuous at best.
When you say God, you can think of anyone you believe in. You don't have to, it can stand for anybody.
It may not be popular here in the East. Busy intersections like this one could be seeing those billboards coming up soon. The North Carolina Secular Association says they plan on having them from the mountains to the coast. In Greenville, Alex Friedman, Eyewitness News 9, on your side.
6 billboards touting the One Nation Indivisible pledge have been posted along state highways, and 6 more that include "Under God" have also been posted. By the way, We Still Pray Christian organization, that's the group that posted those others. All 12 will be visible for the next month.
nation under God. That's the message on a new billboard in Wilmington, which is reviving the debate over the Pledge of Allegiance. It is a billboard battle that's become heated over the last month. WWAY's Tim Buckley joins us now with more. Tim?
And it all started when NC Secular posted a billboard which read simply, "One Nation, Indivisible." Now faith groups are joining together to state their case for God's place in the pledge. The battle of the billboards has gone from this to this. This new billboard presented by We Still Pray echoes the anger that many felt when they saw NC Secular's message.
I found it disturbing because, to me, faith is indispensable to this country.
Bob French posted this message on his restaurant's marquee just days after the Indivisible billboard went up.
It's been extremely positive for my business, and I've seen a lot of negativity from others.
NC Secular's board is now down after its 4-week run expired, but We Still Pray's billboard is brand new, and it won't be the last. Many faith groups like Myrtle Grove Presbyterian have banded together to get out their message.
We believe in free speech, obviously, and people ought to have the right to put up what signs and say what they want to say. But nonetheless, I believe, as they do, that it was time for a little loving pushback and put up some of our own billboards. So that's what we're doing.
Their billboard carrying a similar message will appear in the coming weeks just across the Cape Fear Memorial Bridge, leaving Wilmington. For now, advocates for God's place in the pledge are pleased.
And I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I applaud those people for doing it. Whoever they are, God bless them.
The debate will continue in the months ahead, and it's one that's only possible in a place like America.
Well, the First Amendment gives all of us our right to free speech and free religion. And I'm exercising mine, and unfortunately, I guess they can exercise their secular ways.
WeStillPray.com has also posted billboards in Asheville, Charlotte, Winston-Salem, Greensboro, and Raleigh in direct response to NC Secular's boards, which were put up to advocate removing "under God" from the Pledge of Allegiance. And back.
Atheist groups have launched another attack on the Pledge of Allegiance. They want the words "under God" taken out. And as Ephraim Graham reports, they're using billboards to spread their message.
These billboards, which read "One Nation Indivisible," are popping up in several areas across North Carolina, including the Billy Graham Parkway in Charlotte. The North Carolina Secular Association and other atheist groups want Americans to no longer acknowledge God in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I am a Christian, and I believe that God is sovereign over all things. And so because of that, it's offensive to me personally.
But humanists like Randy Best say this billboard campaign is designed to separate religion and patriotism.
If we wanted to be offensive, we could have been offensive quite directly. We could have said something about God explicitly, and we did not. We chose not to do that. We chose to try to make a message that's inclusive.
The words "under God" were added to the Pledge of Allegiance in 1954 by a joint resolution of Congress. President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed the bill into law after hearing a sermon based on the Gettysburg Address, in which President Abraham Lincoln used the words "under God" to set the United States apart from other nations. But Best argues the phrase "under God" excludes atheists, and that the new billboard campaign in North Carolina is simply more inclusive.
People have been angry about it, and I am sad that trying to make an inclusive statement that we're all Americans should anger some people.
Business owner Mike Connolly's antique shop is right next to one of the billboards. He says business is good right now, but he's concerned that could change.
It's a little bit frustrating when you've got a relatively new business. You don't want any controversy whatsoever surrounding your establishment.
He's not alone. Some other business owners in the area say the atheist campaign is upsetting as a business owner and as an American. Ephraim Graham, CBN News.
One of the billboards has already been vandalized. Someone climbed this one on the Billy Graham Parkway and spray painted the words "under God." The atheist group has ordered a new sign to replace it.
And we turn now to a new battle in the culture wars over 31 words that millions of us began reciting as American elementary school children. The Pledge of Allegiance. A group of people who do not believe in public religion are taking their stand to a famous backyard. And here's Dan Harris.
Here in North Carolina, deep in the Bible Belt, a group of atheists recently decided to remind people of the history of the Pledge of Allegiance by putting up 6 billboards all over the state, including one on the Billy Graham Parkway, which say "One Nation, Indivisible," purposely leaving out the words "under God." Atheists point out those words weren't in the original pledge, which was written in 1892, more than 100 years after the country was founded, by Pastor Francis Bellamy as part of a campaign to promote patriotic observances in schools. The pastor didn't use the words "under God." Congress added the phrase in 1954.
So you think having "under God" is actually discriminatory?
I think it is for me, because I don't believe in a God, and I don't believe that our country was founded on Christianity or any religion.
Jennifer Lovejoy is a mother of 2 and wife of a disabled military policeman.
I'm not taking away anyone else's belief in a God. Many of our forefathers, feared God, but I think they feared religion more, and what it could do to the country if any one religion was allowed to be in control.
You know what it is? It's political correctness gone amok. It's silliness.
Evangelicals are now fighting back. Over this past weekend, Pastor Ralph Sexton and his followers put up a series of new billboards that read "One Nation Under God."
We are a people of faith. We are a nation that's built on Christian principles. And we need to make sure our children, our grandchildren, our teenagers, our young adults know what we're really all about.
The atheists, thrilled by all the attention, are now considering more billboards to continue to add fuel to the raging debate over the role of God in America's past and present. Dan Harris, ABC News, Asheville, North Carolina.